Hello, everybody. This is Brian Hugh. Welcome to Empower and Design, show number 1 on YouTube, where we talk all things business and design with a focus on leadership. Today, we'll be kicking off my first episode with one of my good friends, Stacy Costa from Koroseal, where we'll learn about how she got into the design industry, and what her leadership style is like. Hello, Stacy. Thank you for joining me today.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
Good. About you? I'm
Doing
glad.
great.
Thank you for joining me. I just it's great to kick this off. So before we get started, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I have 3 children who all have left the nest, so I'm a recently empty nester. So I sold the big house that I raised the kids in, and now I'm living in a much smaller house. I would say that I've been in the hospitality industry about 24 years. So yeah, basically all of my life, right? And
Yeah, because you're only 26.
I know. And just enjoying being an empty nester and really getting to concentrate more on my own career, which is something that you can't really excel at as much when you are a full-time mother.
Yeah.
And so just enjoying that and enjoying being able to go places and do more things right now. I'm very heavily into RVing right now. So that's kind of where my
Oh,
life
wow.
is right now. Yeah. So it's been fun to
I bet.
kind of,
So
yeah.
where have you guys been RVing or traveling lately?
So it's been an interesting time to RV because obviously COVID. And
Yeah.
so in the last year, we just bought it last year,
Okay.
and we just hit all of the Georgia state parks that we could. So like Rock Mountain and just local to us, Unicoi State Park, and just seeing Georgia really, because we were afraid if we went out of state, if we would have to quarantine. So we just
Okay.
been enjoying it, kind of getting our RV legs, if you will,
Wow.
learning how to argue about backing that RV into a spot properly, which anyone who has an RV with their husband understands what I mean.
Yeah, I can
Um,
imagine that. Yeah, definitely not one of my skills at all. Um, so how did you get, I know you said you came from procurement, but how did you get into, I guess, more the rep side of design?
Sure. Well, I started first in operations,
Oh,
right?
wow.
So, yeah, so it was really cool to kind of get to see how, when the furniture's fixtures and equipment actually get into the space, what happens to them and are they usable and operational friendly. So I came from the perspective of things, and also the customer experience, and then ended up in procurement, as you know. Did that for 12 years, and that gave me a really good perspective on the developer, the owner, the hotelier, right?
Okay.
And also, the designer, because I worked very closely in making sure the integrity of the specs were consistent into what the designer actually envisioned for that project. So coming from procurement and putting all of that knowledge of my operations background into becoming a sales rep eventually is how I've really kind of grown in this industry. So all in all, like I said, I've been in the hospitality industry for like all of my life, 23 years.
Well, yeah, I've bounced around a lot. I've done a lot of retail, and then I've transferred or transitioned into interior design. That's what I went to school for, and then I started in residential, then I did corporate design, then I went into commercial furniture design, then I went into commercial millwork design. And then I started my own business, and I was doing construction drawings for different designers and architects. And that's how I got into hospitality. And now I'm looking to get more back, or get on the rep side of design, and then maybe transition some back into that is owning my design firm. But yeah.
It really does, just having all of that, what I've found for myself, is having all of that background has just made me a better sales rep. I use that word, but I really don't consider myself to be a sales rep. I just consider myself to be like a customer service
Yeah.
representative that has knowledge on my product, that several people, in our industry will need, architects and designers, of course. And I'm just here to help them.
Yeah.
So I think that's, for me, the way I really associate,
Yeah, I
more on the
mean,
service side.
yeah, I mean, this business is all about, people, and it's all about building relationships, and customer service is the biggest focus. I mean, I have a little over 20 years of customer service, experience between the retail side and the design side. Um, and yeah, that's what I love, actually, is the customer service aspect of both of those. So
The networking,
yeah,
the
networking,
relationship.
exactly. Exactly. Um, so, so you work at Koroseal. Can you tell us a little bit about Koroseal?
So Koroseal began as a manufacturer of high quality wall coverings 50 years ago, right? And that's what we did best. And then we've really expanded to be one of the largest distributors of product in the world. And basically, we have a wide variety of coordinated interior products that are designed to work in harmony with each other. And so just being a resource for designers and architects on their projects and all their interior finishes. So if it's a vertical surface,
Okay.
we're going to have a coordinated product to go from our wall covering to your wall protection to your paint,
Oh
to
wow.
your wood. So it really is a wide variety of products now that we have, not just wall covering.
What fuels your leadership passion, and why?
You know, that's a really great question, because I think for me, it's our own challenges in life that raise our awareness to the deficiencies that exist in the world, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's how we come up with our own individual passions, through whatever deficiencies have come from our life, and that leads to passion, and then that can lead to mentorship or leadership. And so for me, I think that's what fuels my leadership, is just the desire to, those life lessons or those life struggles, and help someone else by mentoring them, or just, using my experience to grow someone else's
Yeah.
awareness, you know?
So what is the culture of Koroseal like?
It's amazing. I have to say, for me, and I'm sure a lot of people are like-minded in this way, it has to be an alignment of my personal goals and my professional goals. And I have spent a lot of my career looking for that right company. And I actually refer to this a lot with my coworkers, and that is that Koroseal is literally my professional soulmate. I love the way they treat their employees. It's always a good sign when you see your counterparts have been with the company for 20 plus years, or 29 years, or
Yeah.
30 plus years. And so for me, that was one of the most important things. And then, as far as like the culture regarding design, we literally talk a lot about shaping the beauty of the world one project at a time. So I think that was what drives Koroseal in
Okay.
our design innovation, and the way we market, and the products that we decide to take on or distribute. So that's kind of been just shaping the beauty of the world one project at a time, and being focused on excellent customer service.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely customer service is the big one of the biggest
It,
it
for
is the
me, it is,
biggest aspect of any business. So
yes. I
uh,
mean, you have to be passionate about the company you work for. And if the
yeah.
company you work for is not excelling in serving your customers, who literally mean everything to you, they're your friends, they're your customers, then it's really hard to,
Oh yeah.
align yourself with that company.
Definitely. And I mean, I've been the same way. Like when I got into the design industry, like trying to find that right company. And I'm still looking. And I think that's why I started my own business. Um, Trying to find that right company that had a lot of the core values that I did from what I took from working in retail to the design industry. And that, I mean, for me, so like my why is to inspire and encourage leadership, trust, and growth. Doesn't matter really what I do, but that's like the overall why. I love real estate. I love design. I love um, sales, marketing, wide variety of different things. But yes, what is one habit, trait, or mindset that you're currently working on now?
I really love this question, and the reason why is because I'm always working on myself. Like there's always something that I'm trying to improve about myself. And I think right now, it's just how to navigate through those different ideas when you are in a leadership role, or when you're on a team, and you have a group of people that are getting together to collaborate, and just navigating through the different ideas. It can be a challenge, right? And we see
Yeah,
that in our world today, with so many different points of view.
yeah,
And it's important to respect other points of view. And it's also important to understand that, as you may be passionate about your point of view, it may not be right, or
yeah.
if it's right, it may not be, you may have to do some things to bring people together to collaborate with them in the same way. So, like, I don't have it figured out,
Mm.
but that is something that
No,
I'm thinking a lot about this right now.
yeah, and I definitely, I mean, that's what I look at myself. I'm like, I am a life learner. Like I'm
Hmm.
constantly learning and growing, and that's what I, want to keep doing. And like you said, everybody has different, experiences, which, we'll say is skews or, gives them their point of view and their mindset and how they look at, life and what, what they, how they, what they think about a different situation. But yes, I definitely agree with respecting other people's opinions, even if you don't agree with that, but uh, not like, not belittling them because of their
Right.
view, you know?
Learning how to navigate through that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like that's the real tough part, when you have a
Yes.
group you're collaborating with and you've got five different opinions. Well, how do you, navigate through that? That's something that I am working on, and just it's just a work in process.
Oh yeah. Definitely. It definitely is a working process in nowadays. And I think 2020 showed that a lot of how we have to pivot again. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's just
To be
yeah.
kind, to be humble.
Yep, pretty much.
Hmm.
Pretty much. Um, so so where can everyone find you, whether it's on social media or just in general?
Well, I did finally, I succumbed to Instagram. It seems like the most popular platform right now, and I can certainly be found at Instagram, Stacy Costa underscore KIP, which stands for Koroseal Interior Products. So that's where they can personally find me. And I love it because I can see what my designers and my friends and everyone is up to in our industry, and that's lovely, right? Especially right
Yes,
now.
definitely.
Yeah. And then of course they can find Koroseal at koroseal.com. Koroseal has its own Insta. I'm also on LinkedIn. I can be found under Stacy Costa as well on LinkedIn. So yep, I've got all my social media up to date, and I don't need a 15-year-old to help me with it anymore.
Heck,
Especially
I mean,
Google. I mean, literally, you can Google anything these days.
exactly,
Like, I'm
exactly.
not I'm not kidding you, Brian. Callie, which is my dog,
Okay.
she had surgery, and, after her surgery, I was like, "Well, how do we pick her up? Like, there's gotta be a way to pick a dog up without hurting them," and sure enough, I Googled it, and there it
I
was.
mean, that's what I do for everything. It's either Google or YouTube. Those are like the two big, I mean, which they're both owned by Google, but those are what
Well,
are
Google
used the
takes you to
most.
YouTube. Google
Yes.
takes you to YouTube. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, it's funny. I mean, I'm just like, I'm starting to get better. I feel like I'm 10 years too old for, social media, or I'm 10 years older than what as far as it making it being easy. If you're 25, it's a lot, or younger, it seems to be a lot easier. So,
Yes. Agreed.
um,
Agreed.
but yeah, I mean, because even like with the SEO stuff, like I've been going over stuff with a resume writer and how to brand my, business and whatnot. And I'm like, keywords are just not my thing. Like,
No, it cracks me up because, like, I'll get on one of these calls with a younger designer or someone, and they're clicking and they're sharing their screen and they're clicking all over, and it's, like, very fast. When I'm looking for a document or sharing my screen, it's kinda like,
yep.
slide over to the left, click, slide over to the right, click.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like,
It's crazy. So we've learned a lot about Corcio, about a lot about you, and what your leadership style's like. So it was great talking with you today, Stacy. But before you go, I have one more question for you. What advice do you have for aspiring leaders?
Oh, my advice would be mentorship, mentorship, mentorship. I just can't say enough about mentorship. One of my favorite quotes is by Herbert Hoover, and it is, "Words without actions are the assassins of all idealism." And I truly believe that. So I think that's really important in being a leader. And I obviously think mentorship is really important in being a leader.
Oh,
So that would be my advice.
I totally agree. I've never actually heard that quote. I have so
One of my
mine
favorites.
is by Andrew Jackson, and as if you actually have it on my wall. If your actions inspire others to learn more, do more, and become more, then you're a leader. Um,
Absolutely. And you know what? Passion is infectious. That's another thing.
oh
Y-
yes.
Your passion, and I learned this as president of NEWH, when you're passionate about something, it is infectious. And then the crew that you're leading is just like, wow, this is exciting. We're a part of something. And
Yes.
so, I would definitely say for sure it starts with your passion.
Oh
So
yeah. Because
to be able
everybody
to do
wants to belong. So if you do it, they'll gravitate towards you. Just lead by example is what I always say.
yes, for sure.
Yes, definitely. Thank you all for watching Empower and Design. If you've enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content with whoever you feel would benefit. Thank you. And then we go
Thanks,
to the outro.
Brian.